Big crowds and big hopes at Tynecastle. 16,500 turned up for Graham Rix's first home game in charge. No doubt feeling, given the opposition, that their side would have little difficulty in securing their first win in 3 games. Their first win, in fact, under the new head coach, Callum Elliott, the first to menace Ludovic Roy's goal. Their title credentials might have been acutely examined over the last few weeks, just 1 win in the last 4 games. Yet the ability to cut through the opposition remains intact in this Hearts side. All that was required was a finish from Paul Hartley to deliver the play of the week. Relieved Roy and a huge thumbs up from Rix. It's been thumbs up for Hearts for most of the season so far, but as they pushed forward and played in Rudy Scatchell, it was more a case of hands up in the Livy defence as they backed off the check and opened up the opportunity for him to have a goal. A fabulous strike by Scatchell, but it was one he was allowed to make as Harold Pinkston backed off him. Roy left with no chance. 8 minutes gone, and already it was looking like a long afternoon ahead for Livy, with Hearts playing with all the confidence in the world. Scatchell back to scoring form, something underlined 7 minutes after his first goal. More great skills from the golden left foot. 13 for the season for Scatchell, and even after 15 minutes, Livy looked marooned. Another goal would certainly have killed him off, and another goal almost came courtesy of Michaelinas and Elliott. Roy with a fine double save to break the Hearts. But if you thought there was nothing Livingston could do to change things, Paul Dalglish had other ideas. The message from the gaffer was clear: a bit of thought required rather than strong-arm tactics. That came in the stroke of half-time and left Alan Freeland with a bit of sorting out to do. It ended with a couple of yellow cards. Tynecastle has been Hearts' castle this season, not only unbeaten but the only team in Scotland to have won all their home games so far. Only 2 goals conceded in 7 matches before this one, and they might have added to their goals for tally several times. Roman Bednar dragging his shot wide. Livy were living on crumbs for the most part, but now and again a sizable chunk fell their way. For Paul Dalglish, there was enough to merit having a go, and if there wasn't the power required of the shots to beat Craig Gordon, the Scotland goalkeeper was taking no chances. Paul Lambert, you feel, less influential on the sidelines than when he's in the team and able only to watch as Hearts carved a path through the defence once more. By now, Callum Elliott must have been wondering how many chances he would miss. At least he was in the position to miss them. Despite any improvements there might have been for Livy, the fact remained they had scored just 8 league goals before this game, so how welcome was number 9, rattled in by Alan Walker. A lifeline perhaps for Livingston, coming from a fine effort from Walker, one that left Gordon clutching mid-air. Despite the goal, the Lions were soon to be stalked again, and with Bednar ready to pounce as the defences were breached. And the killer instinct required next time. Hearts, to be fair, were by now smelling blood again and were looking to make the kill. Again, they turned defence into attack with alarming speed, and this time the substitute to Mikael Pospisil almost made it count. You really can't come much closer and not score. But if Ludovic Roy was beaten here, Gordon was happy to allow the ball to beat him at the other end, a sure knowledge of the rules shown by the keeper, who didn't dare touch the ball in case he conceded a goal. As we all know, as we all should know, you can't score direct from a throw-in. Gordon pulled his hand back from the ball to avoid conceding an own goal. A cool head and clear thinking at the back. A cool head also required in front of goal, as Paul Hartley knows only too well. Sometimes luck takes a turn. But win enough to keep Hearts still up there with Celtic.
Hugh, if you remember the build-up to that Hearts-Rangers match earlier in the season, it looks as if the build-up to this Hearts-Celtic game on New Year's Day is going to be phenomenal.
I think that's quite right too. If Celtic beat Hibs at the weekend, then it's a 2-horse race for the Championship, Celtic and Hearts. Therefore, with Hearts to go to Ibrox on the 17th of December, the game on the 1st of January at Tynecastle is going to be a classic.
Especially, Andy, if Rudy Scatchell keeps banging in the goals.
Yeah, for my money, he's been the most dominant midfield player of this season. I think he's been terrific value for money. There must be a worry from the Hearts fans that he could be snapped up. He's still contracted to Marseille, so if anyone comes in and offers money, then Marseille might just take it. But he's shown there, not for the first time, how deadly he can be on that left side. And I think when you compare the qualities of Celtic and Hearts, I think Hearts are pretty sound defensively, pretty strong there. Midfield are terrific, not only Scatchell, they've got Hartley as well. They don't have a natural goal scorer, in my view. I think Jankowskis is a terrific player, but he doesn't score enough goals. Bednar's been out injured, and Pospisil's in and out. Callum Elliott is in and out. So if they could get a goal scorer, that would certainly help prolong their challenge.
The game should have been dead and buried at that point, Hugh. I mean, Hearts missed numerous chances, and then suddenly Livingston back into it.
Well, the score at the end, Jim, is just a false one. You know, it's 2-1 going on 7-1. But all credit to Livingston. They do fight. Walker's goal is an excellent one. And then they have that moment at the end where Craig Gordon has the sense to take his hand out of the way. But well done to Alan Walker. It's a fine strike. And you don't beat a goalkeeper like Craig Gordon from that distance easily.
And Andy, Murray Fowler has emailed in to say this is a great piece of goalkeeping by Craig Gordon.
Well, I'm not convinced he left it. I think the bounce had beaten him. And it was a strange one when you see all those bodies, not one person getting a touch on it. Certainly if they did, it's inconclusive. And I think the referee quite rightly ruling it out.
Hugh, just going back to something Andy said a minute ago, Rudy Scatchell, it is surely inconceivable that Hearts could lose him in January. But of course they could.
Yeah, of course. And they are hostages to fate where he is concerned. So there's no point in debating whether or not he's staying or going. The Hearts will need to wait and see. What you can say about Rudy Scatchell, he's moving into Player of the Year territory. You've got Scatchell, Stilian Petrov at Celtic, Chris Boyd at Kilmarnock because of the phenomenal number of goals he scored, and Derek Riordan at Hibs, so long as you keep him away from karaoke machines.
Indeed, there's one man who can buy Scatchell, that's Mr. Romanov. We'll see.